Buonasera a tutti, good evening and welcome to the Italian Radio Hour. Io sono Viviana and I would like to welcome back our regular listeners and also welcome any new listeners. Also be sure to like us on Instagram and Facebook at Italian Radio Hour and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch up on any past video interviews. Vorrei dare il benvenuto ai nostri ascoltatori da tutto il mondo, grazie per essere con noi anche oggi mentre continuiamo il nostro viaggio per l'Italia e la cultura italiana. Today we are taking you to the rolling hills of Oltrepo Pavese, an under-the-radar wine region northern Italy that's quietly producing some of the country's most elegant Pinot Noir and sparkling wines. And who better to take us there than Francesca Seralvo, a woman who quite literally grew up among the vines. Francesca is the third generation behind Tenuta Mazzolino, a family-run estate with deep French roots and a big Italian heart. She left behind a successful legal career to return to the family vineyards, and where she's now not only crafting beautiful wines like Noir, Blanc, and the stunning Blanc de Blancs, but also shaping the future of the region as the newly elected president of the Oltrepo Pavese Wine Consortium. We'll talk about her journey from courtrooms to cellars, the legacy of her grandfather's bold vision, the role of women in Italian wine today, and what makes this corner of Lombardy so special. So pour yourself a glass of wine and enjoy this inspiring conversation with Francesca Seralvo. Ma prima, pubblicità. Parli italiano? Do you want to learn, improve, or master your Italian? Istituto Mondo Italiano can help. Located in the heart of Regent Square, Mondo Italiano offers small group classes and one-on-one private tutoring in person or online to help you learn Italian in no time. Visit us online at istitutomondoitaliano.org. Francesca, benvenuta. Welcome to the program. How are you today?
Hi, Viviana. I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And thank you for hosting me today with you.
It's a true pleasure because as our listeners will become familiar with Tenuta Mazzolino and the beautiful wines that you produce, having you to talk us through the evolution of Tenuta Mazzolino is a true pleasure. But before we get into the wines and wines, today I'm going to try to pronounce them properly. Oltrepo Pavese, let's not take it for granted that people know where it is. So can we geographically give our viewers or listeners an idea of where you are located?
Yes, of course. So we are in north of Italy, to give it simple, 1 hour south from Milan. We are exactly in the middle between the three different regions of the north of Italy, because we are in Lombardy and we are in the middle. Oltrepo Pavese is the southest part of Lombardy, between Piedmont and Emilia-Romagna and Liguria. So we really are in the heart of the north of Italy.
Mm-hmm. So that is actually, we will talk maybe how your position has influenced the grapes and vice versa. But there is a French connection that I would like to explore right away. Tell us how the Tenuta Mazzolino come about. Who is the founder, the pioneer in the family?
Yes, so the founder of Tenuta Mazzolino, as it is today, is my grandfather. He was French and he moved to Milan for work. As a French guy, he had two very big passion. One was wine, and the second one was his family. So he really wanted to find a place quite near to Milan where he could produce his own wine, because he was really truly passionate about wine, and where to meet all his big family. He has 4 kids and 12 nephews. So he started to look around Milan, and he found this hill where we are today, where Tenuta Mazzolino is today, that everyone used to call the Hill of Pinot Noir. So he just fall in love with the place, and he found the perfect place to start his dream, and he just start producing the wine. And this is when Tenuta Mazzolino starts. So was in 1979, 1980s. Yes.
And so obviously we know that there was also a strong French influence. And how did that impact the way that your grandfather wanted to make wine or the type of wine that he wanted to produce?
That's a very important thing because my grandfather, he was French, and when he arrived in Oltrepò Pavese, Pinot Noir was already there. But why Pinot Noir was there in Oltrepò? Because Oltrepò Pavese was long time ago under Piedmont registration, and in Piedmont there were the French people. Piedmont was strongly connected with French people, and so French people brought the Pinot Noir in Oltrepò Pavese. So when my grandfather arrived, he just found there the Pinot Noir, but the tradition of the region was to vinificate this Pinot Noir in white and sparkling. And as a French guy, he thought, listen, I need to produce this Pinot Noir in a red, an elegant Pinot Noir. So this is how he started the adventure with the red Pinot Noir. He was one of the first that started to vinificate Pinot Noir in red style instead of white and frizzy, let's say.
And I believe there were also two other people that were instrumental, Giacomo Bologna and Luigi Veronelli. If you can talk a little bit about who these individuals were. And again, I think it was not collaborating, but kind of sharing minds and opinions so that your grandfather could come to these
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Because my grandfather was very lucky. He had these two very, very good friends that were two person really important in the wine business at that time, because Giacomo Bologna and Luigi Veronelli were probably the two most, let's say, influencer. Like we didn't use this word 50 years ago, but
we called them pioneers at that time, right?
Exactly.
Experts. They knew their
Exactly.
craft.
Experts. Yes, absolutely. And they came to Mazzolino, and they had this huge dinner with my grandfather, and they give him the courage to go ahead with this project of the Pinot Noir in red, because they told him, listen, you have the same soil, the same climate, in a word, the same terroir of Piedmont here in Oltrepò Pavese. So you need to vinificate this Pinot Noir in red. You can make the best Italian Pinot Noir in this region. So go for it and do it. Even if the people all around here will say you are crazy, you don't have to do it. You have to do it and go this way. So this was very important in the story of Mazzolino, because since that moment, they just start to vinificate the Pinot Noir in red as we do today.
Wonderful. So obviously you had what we would imagine a beautiful childhood, maybe strolling through the vines and the vineyard and so forth. Was it something that you took for granted, or something that even at a young age you started to have a certain appreciation and really maybe understood the importance of what your family was doing?
No, absolutely. We never give anything for granted. I mean, I grew up in between Mazzolino and Milan, actually, but most of the time we were all together with all my family in Mazzolino, and probably this was the best part of my life. I mean, in the childhood, in the countryside, but you have to you never give anything for granted. I mean, even because it has been a lot of work, a lot of things that have been done in this period. So it was very, very nice period, but with a lot of work behind, from my grandfather, from my mother, from all the family. So
while I will continue asking you questions, For those of you that are following us on as a video interview, they'll start seeing some images of the tenuta, which we will elaborate more on the actual. But it is such a beautiful expression of, again, your family traditions. So before in my introduction, I said from your journey from the courtrooms to cellars, so from law to vines. You also indicated that the family is quite numerous. So how did you get involved in the business?
So I started to work in Mazzolino 10 years ago now, and the reason why I decided to study law after my college was that, you know, my mom was running the estate, but we are, as I told you, 12 cousins, and I didn't know who my grandfather would have choose to run the estate after my mother. So I decided to study something that would gave me a job basically after my university. So I studied law. I really liked it, and I think it's also a very interesting curriculum. It gives you an idea a bit of everything. And then I worked as a lawyer for almost 10 years, and then my grandfather called me and he asked me when my mother decided to stop work in the estate. He decided to ask me if I wanted to succeed the work of my mother, and it was like a dream for me, because in the bottom of my heart, my dream was to go and to work in Mazzolino and to make my own wines. And you know, I grew up, as I told you, in Mazzolino. I used to go in Vinitaly with my mom when I was 8 years old, complaining in the stand because it was very boring, you know, for me. But in the end, it was like a dream for me. So I was very, very happy that my grandfather called me and asked me to start this new adventure with him in Mazzolino.
Wonderful. So obviously you probably have a very good team around you, and I would like for you to elaborate more on a Greek enologist that has been part of, I would say also a contributor to the success of Tenuta Mazzolino. So Kyriakos is first name. Don't ask me to pronounce his last name, but please tell us about
Yes.
Kyriakos.
Yes, after my grandfather met Giacomo Bologna and Luigi Veronelli, he started to produce Pinot Noir in Red, as I told you. But the second milestone in the history of Mazzolino is in 1999, when my grandfather, while he was reading the newspaper, the Figaro newspaper, because he still used to read the French newspaper, he wrote about this very young Greek enologist that was, as I can say, it was revolutioning Burgundy way of making wines. So my grandfather decided to call Kyriakos, and he told him, listen, I produce Pinot Noir. I'm in north of Italy. Please, you have to come to Mazzolino and you have to help me. So Kyriakos came. And this is like, again, a new era from Mazzolino. And Kyriakos is still working with us. So it's now almost 30 years that we work together. And it was a very, very important presence in Mazzolino, because he really always respect the work that we have done and we do in the vineyard, because the way we cultivate the vines is very difficult from Burgundy to Italy, of course. But in the cellar, he really gave us a new way of work at that time. But the funniest thing is that he didn't take in our cellar, you know, strange things, or in one word, he says, I take to Mazzolino la tradition. So the tradition, I mean, simple rules that we used to do in Burgundy, and we bring them in Italy as well. So nothing special, but just the tradition.
Yes, and so obviously being at the helm of the Tenuta Mazzolino, there is a fine line or a balance between honoring family traditions and introducing modern innovations. So something that I believe Tenuta Mazzolino was always doing, but also thanks to your legal tenacity, the production of organic wines. So now you are fully certified, and I think that law degree came into use to push all that paperwork. So tell us a little bit from a consumer perspective, what does that mean? And from your perspective as a producer, what are some of the processes that you have to attain to comply with to produce organic wines?
Yeah. Yes. When I arrived in Mazzolino 10 years ago, I just realized that we was working as an organic farm since ever, but no one had make the papers to obtain the certification. So yes, probably because of my law degree, I just immediately start the process, because I know it's important to make things in the right way, but if you can be certified, is even better. So I was very, very happy to obtain this certification. What we do mainly is the respect of the vines. All that we have to do is to respect the vines, and what we are really concentrated in now is to bring life in our vineyard. We don't use, 15 years ago, you used to cut the grass, to cut the vines. The vines was a little bit like a perfect garden. Now it's a bit more like a jungle. I mean, we invite animals to live in our vineyard because they really bring biodiversity, and it's very important at the end for the quality of the wine. So the idea is to maintain, to respect exactly what we have, and to grow the vineyard in a competition system where there are other plants, other animals, and a real life. So this is the aiming at the end.
Okay, so I think this leads us to allow you to elaborate more on your Pinot Noir. Eventually, we'll talk also about the Blanc, but tell us, make us dream. And I don't know if you're enjoying a glass of Pinot Noir as we speak. It's after all in Italy. It's already, they say it's always 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. So tell us a little bit how you age, the fermentation, everything that you would like us to share with us to really appreciate your processes.
Yeah, let's talk about the Noir, which is our Pinot Noir. So first of all, where we are on the hill of Pinot Noir, we are on top of the hill where we have a soil which is composed by two elements. The first element is some clay that give to the wine a structure and presence, and the second layer is a chalky and white soil. So this gives to the wine this finesse and elegance that we always look in when we drink a Pinot Noir. So we just obviously harvest everything by hand, and we are very close to the winery. Imagine, I don't know, 5 minutes walking distance from the vineyard to the winery. And we do, as Kyriakos always said, a very, very easy process. So nothing strange, or we just make a fermentation in a stainless steel tank. And when the fermentation is finished, we go in the barrel. We have under the winery a very big special barricai, I would say, place where the wine can age perfectly. And the wine stay there for at least 12 months. We use 20% of new barrel every year. So that means that the wine is 20% in new barrels, 20% in the barrel of the year before, year before, year before. So 5 different year of barrels. And we stay in the barrels for 12 months. After this period, we need to empty the barrels because the new vintage is coming. So we take out the wine, we go back in the stainless steel tank, and we bottle the wine. Oltrepò Pavese Pinot Noir needs a little bit of time, a little bit of aging also in the glass, so also in the bottle. So we keep it a couple of years in the bottle, in the cellar, in the winery, before going on the market. So this is a little bit the process. We are selling now our Pinot Noir 2023.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So you just perked my curiosity by saying the word bottle. So I would like to know more about both of who designed your labels and if there is anything special about the bottles as well.
So yeah, the label was designed by the Genero. It's
The son-in-law.
the son-in-law, sorry, yes, thank you, of Luigi Veronelli. He
Oh,
was a very young designer at that time. After he designed our label, he just designed the label for everyone in Italy, probably. So he just started probably with us and grow. And we just decided to keep them as they are since the beginning because I really love them. I think they really are the symbol of Tenuta Mazzolino. And the logo of Mazzolino are those two roosters that you find in all the labels. And the story of the rooster is very, very easy. When my grandfather arrived in Mazzolino one of the first time, he just found these two huge roosters in the court, like iron rooster, very good, very big, and he decided that those rooster would be his logo. And this is
mhm.
the story about the rooster in the
Okay.
label.
Wonderful. So we talked about the Pinot Noir. Let's switch to the white wine, Blanc. And again, if you can elaborate a little bit on that. I think that was one of your grandfather's thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, because when he arrived again in Mazzolino 50 years ago, as I told you, Pinot Noir was there, but he decided to plant Chardonnay because as a French guy, he thought where Pinot Noir grows well, I need to try the Chardonnay as well. So he chose exactly the best plot where to plant Chardonnay, so in the east part of the hill, so very fresh on a chalky and white soil, and he decided to plant Chardonnay. And the process of the Chardonnay is very similar to the Pinot Noir. So we harvest obviously by hand, and we gently press the grape, and we go directly into the barrel where the wine ferment, and we keep the wine in the barrel same time, almost 12 months. Then we tasted, every month, every week we go and taste the wine. So we choose every year a different time that the wine stays in the barrel. And then we take the wine out of the barrel and we bottle it. So very, very easy process also for the Blanc.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to hear from our sponsors and then we'll come back to continue our conversation with Francesca Zeralvo from Tenuta Mazzolino as far as combining the wines with the local gastronomy and then the hospitality and then women in wine. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Applying for Italian citizenship? Need documents translation? Istituto Mondo Italiano provides certified translations and assistance services. Be sure to visit us at istitutomondoitaliano.org and schedule your free consultation. Un caffè, per favore. My first cup of coffee sets the tone for my entire day, and I get my coffee at La Prima Espresso. La Prima has been brewing Pittsburgh's best coffee for over 35 years. Try any of their in-house roasted varieties of beans from all over the world at home, or come and enjoy an espresso or a cappuccino at any of their locations, with their friendly baristas and familiar faces who will make you feel at home. Visit laprima.com to get La Prima Espresso coffee at your door. Where would you see your wines complement the local cuisine?
The local cuisine where we are is mainly as a primo, first dish is the risotto, I would say. So we are very close to the risaie, you know, also. So we love to pair our wine with the risotto. And also very important, you know, we eat a lot of salami, and we have the salame di Varzi, which is very, very famous salami in Oltrepo Pavese, so in the area. So mainly this kind of food. And also the Pinot Noir, of course, you can pair it with all the meat, which can be red meat or white meat as well, like the pigeon or those kind of meat.
Wonderful. So the Tenuta Mazzolino really offers a full experience, right? You have a beautiful villa as well where you can entertain or can be rented out. So I'm gonna try to see if I have also pictures of that because definitely it's worth being seen. So tell us a little bit about the use that of the villa
Yes.
people could envision on their
Yes,
trip to you.
we have this villa that used to be the house of my grandfather. We just renovated recently, and as you were correctly saying, we rent it for events like wedding, like convention. We have a 12 room and a huge and big kitchen, professional kitchen where we hosted also some kitchen lesson, you know. So we just rented and make experience inside the villa. Also nice wine tasting, of course, and those kind of event.
Wonderful. So now I wanted to give a big shout out to the Allora Wine Group that also facilitates us getting in touch. For those of you that might not be familiar, they're a distributor. They kind of handpick, travel throughout Italy to select the best wine producers to then bring to the US, to restaurants and so forth. So can you tell me a little bit how you came in contact with them?
Yes, absolutely. I met Allora Wine Group in New York in a portfolio tasting, and I immediately found a connection with Dominic. I mean, we always like to be in good portfolios. As a small winery, we want to be represented by nice people that represent winery like we are. So thank you very much to Dominic to start this work with us, and they put in contact us, me and you, Viviana, for this interview. But yes, we are very happy to work with them because they have a very, very nice portfolio, all super good wineries, and we are very proud to be in a portfolio like they are. So yeah, this
And
is
then
our win. Yeah.
yes, and you have to stay tuned because Francesca is coming to Pittsburgh, and we'll certainly have an event to welcome her to the City of Bridges with Istituto Mondo Italiano and so forth. So you just have to stay tuned and follow the developments. But now I do have some questions. So, the wine industry maybe has been traditionally male dominated. So I was wondering what challenges have you faced as a woman in this field? If there are indeed associations of women in wine? I mean, it was a catchy title for me, but I'm sure there might be groups and how you share your expertise among one another.
Yes, I think wine it's still dominated by men as an industry, general industry. I have also, I have to say, lots of female friends that produce wine. So there are many, and there are a lot, and they are growing and growing. I think, yeah. There are also lots of association, that connected women in wine, like Le Donne del Vino. So there are a lot of this kind of association. I always think that it's not really important if you are a man or a woman. The important is to be, respected where you are, and to work properly, and to work as your best, and you will succeed. So this is a little bit the idea.
Well, obviously, your guidance, your contribution to the industry has been recognized because you are the president of the Oltrepò Pavese Wine Consortium. So tell us a little bit about what the consortium does and what might be some of the initiatives that you're championing to also foster inclusivity and innovation in the region.
Yes, so the consortio is the association of all the winery of one territory, and the consortio of Oltrepò Pavese is quite a big consortio, because Oltrepò Pavese is a very, very important wine region. So we are a big region, and so we have a big consortio. I am the president of this consortio since 1 year, 1 year and a half already. And the consortio mainly has to promote the region, and to protect, let's say, the wine. We have done many things already in this year of me being president of this consortio. One of the most probably important thing is that as a consortio, we approved the new disciplinare. How can I translate this word? Is the rules that all the producer have to follow to produce a wine, and we approved the new disciplinare of this wine that will be called Classese. And the Classese is a sparkling wine made of Pinot Noir. So a classic method made of Pinot Noir of Oltrepò Pavese will be called Classese. And the Classese is the connection between Classico Pavese, so metodo classico, classic method, and Pavese, which is the region where we are coming from. So when you will be here about the classic method of Italy, people will talk about Franciacorta, they will talk about Trento DOC, Altalanga probably, but also you will hear about Classese, that will be the metodo classico from Oltrepò Pavese.
If someone is getting started in this field, just wanted to build knowledge and expertise, do you have any recommendations how to go about, whether there might be even programs at the university, or material books that would facilitate the introduction to this very wide world of vinification?
Sorry about the Classese.
No, in general, people getting into wanting to
learn more about wine in general.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the best course that you can do, it's an important course, but it's the WSIT, so WSET we call it in Italy, and it's a course which is very famous also as well, and it's held in English, so it's very important also. And then in Italy, you have a lot of association that give course, like AIS, which is Associazione Italiana Sommelier, which you can make tasting course, pairing course, and tasting all around Italy, and you can study with them a lot of things.
Okay. Just one last question on Tenuta Mazzolino. So obviously you are exporting in markets like the United States, I believe also Australia and Japan. I was wondering if you notice a difference on maybe which wine is more popular in one region or another, or if you tailor your wines to appeal to these diverse palates while maintaining authenticity. So
I have to say that, Pinot Noir is very how do you say, it's very appreciated almost everywhere. It's a variety. It's that people love around the world. So the red Pinot Noir is very easy, I have to say, to sell around the world. More difficult is, for example, to sell classic method in the US. For example, it's much easier to sell classic method in Australia. I have to say in the US, there is a lot of champagne and a lot of Prosecco as well. So there is not really the space between those two categories where to, put an Italian classic method, which is not a Prosecco. In Australia, this is more appreciated. So it's easier, for example, to sell. Also in Japan, for example, it's easier. So this is a little bit the difference that I can tell you like this.
I have one last question, but I promise it will be the last one. Is there a wine region that you haven't traveled to that you would like to travel to? Maybe because of the reputation, or maybe it's an innovative representation of winemaking that kind of makes you curious. So is there a region that is on top of your travel list?
Yes, I would definitely love to go in Bordeaux. I have to say, I always go every year 5 to 6 to 7 times to Burgundy because I go very often to meet Kyriakos, and I go there also to work with Kyriakos. But I never been to Bordeaux, which I love and I would love to go, I have to say.
Wonderful. So unfortunately, our time together is up. Il Big Ben ha detto stop, and it's time for us to say arrivederci e alla prossima. And we want to thank you for tuning into the program. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have any topics you would like us to address, please contact us at italianradiohour@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And remember, if you or any of your family and friends have missed a prior episode or would like to listen to this episode again, subscribe to the Italian Radio Hour on YouTube or where you catch your favorite podcasts. And don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. So I would like to thank my guest again, Francesca Seralvo, and we're going to see her in Pittsburgh in June 18th. So stay tuned on the Istituto Mondo Italiano website, because we want to prepare a warm welcome to Francesca. We want to thank our sponsors, Istituto Mondo Italiano and La Prima Espresso. Until next time, alla prossima. Cin cin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Viviana, for hosting me. Thank you very much, and cin cin.
Cin cin. Bye bye.